How a voodoo priestess from the swamp predicted the disaster that would destroy her hometown. Julia Brown was said to be a voodoo priestess. She lived deep in the swamps. According to legend, on the day of her funeral, she took hundreds of people with her into the afterlife and completely destroyed 2 towns. About 30 miles north of New Orleans once stood the isolated settlements of Ruddock and Frenier, places that today are almost entirely surrounded by swampland. On the edge of the Manchac Swamp lived Aunt Julia Brown. She was a black woman who owned her own land. She became known for her folk magic and for the songs she would often sing from her front porch. One song in particular stood out. She would sing, "One day I'll die and take the whole town with me." And as fate would have it, that's exactly what seemed to happen. On September 29, 1915, the day of her funeral, a devastating hurricane struck the area with a level of destruction the region had never experienced before. Hurricanes are nothing unusual in Louisiana, but this one was exceptionally destructive. People sought shelter inside the local train station, only for the storm to tear the entire building apart. In Ruddock alone, 58 people lost their lives, out of a population of only about 700. That day, both Ruddock and Frenier were effectively wiped off the map. To this day, some locals claim you can still hear Julia Brown's laughter echoing through the swamp. The story is fascinating, and parts of it are undeniably true. A powerful hurricane really did strike at almost exactly the same time as her funeral. But personally, I don't believe in voodoo curses, nor do I think she used hoodoo to predict the future. The story about the song was passed down orally for many years before it was ever written down. If it's true, it was an extraordinary coincidence. Or perhaps the legend was exaggerated or even invented to vilify a black woman living in the American South at that time. That certainly wouldn't have been unheard of. But what do you think? Let me know in the comments.